Alright, what is going on, people of the internet, and welcome back to the episode of Ark Evolved Max Speed, and in this episode we are taking a look at the Kaprosuchus, and I'm actually really excited about this one. Actually, I haven't posted a lot of Max Speeds lately, and that's really because, you know, the creatures of Ark, they all kind of feel like they're the same, really. I was playing on a server, and this will have great relevance to why I think the Kaprosuchus is so handy, and why really it's probably the best option for a Max Speed creature. And basically, we raised an army of dire bears. We had 4th, 5th generation guys starting out with 3,000 health and 380% movement speed, or melee damage rather, and 270% movement speed after imprinting. And those things were absolutely incredible. The problem is, why are they? Because they really shouldn't be going toe-to-toe with Rexes. We got raided by some other tribe. They had some Rex, and it stood no chance against our dire bear. And I don't understand that. And it feels like every creature that they add into Ark is just trying to one-up the last one, where the Kapro actually tried to be different, and by association, it was probably the most useful creature I've ever had. Simply because, before we got onto that server, we were playing on a different one, and it was a very hostile PvP type server. This server we'd been trying to set up many times, and we just kept getting stomped by the alpha tribes. We were on one side of the snow biome, off on an island that was connected to the land, but not really. And we built a bridge, and there was an alpha tribe that was based in the snow biome, but very far away from us. And they said, well, you're in the same biome as us. We claim this. We're kicking you out. You got 10 minutes to leave, or we're going to raid you. So we were like, you know what, fine. We've been taken out 5 or 6 times before. This is our final stand. If we're done here, we're done with the server. Let's have some fun with it. So we really didn't have any tames, other than your standard tames for resource gathering, like a mammoth, a doedicurus, an ankylo. We really didn't have any combat tames, aside from my kaprosuchas that I had got. I think it was a level 112, and that's all we really had to defend ourselves, along with some turrets. So these guys seriously underestimated us. I mean, they only sent maybe one person with a battle raft and a Rex, and in order for him to destroy our foundations and to destroy our turrets, he had to get off his creature and use explosives. But the second that he did that, I put pressure on him by being on my Kapro, because the second that he got off that Rex and he tried to use a rocket launcher or C4 to detonate our bridge that we had, we were right there, and I had the Kapro on him, and I was ready to yank him off that area and drag him into the ocean where his rifle wouldn't work anymore, and my Kapro would be able to just tear him to shreds underwater. Because what you have frequently in late game Ark is you don't have people carrying around crossbows, which are the only really useful ranged weapon underwater, because rifles won't fire, and I don't think a bow will fire, and even if it does, why would you ever choose that over a crossbow? So they have maybe 1 or 2 rifles, one with tranq darts and one with bullets, where the crossbow can actually fire underwater. So if you have the opportunity to drag them underwater, then their rifle is completely useless. It doesn't work underwater. So putting maximum movement speed on the Kaprosuchus, as you can see here at 315%, means that you can get from being on land to being in the water as fast as possible. Now, you can't actually right-click jump when you have somebody in their jaws. That'll just put them down. And that means that you're going to be relying on your standard running speed. And I don't believe that the jump actually speeds up when you're at maximum movement speed as opposed to being at standard movement speed. But that's not so much of an issue, because the second that you have them in their jaws, you can just run towards the nearest source of water, get into a distance where they can't shoot their rifle, and then that's it. They're dead. Nothing doing. You steal all their stuff, and that's what the huge problem for the guy on his Rex is, because if he stayed on his Rex, the auto turrets would tear him to shreds. But if he got off of that Rex, my Kaprosuchus would drag him under the water and rip him to shreds as well. So he really didn't have much of an option. Now I'm going to take a bit of a break here to talk about a couple other things. As you can see in the background, I'm currently underwater with a raptor, which is actually really cool. The Kapro can drag something as big as a raptor, because it's not the biggest creature, but it really is solid all around at pretty much everything. It's got okay weight, it's got good health, it's got great movement speed once it's been bumped up, and along with the Thorny Dragon, this thing is a marathon runner. It never runs out of stamina. I mean, unless you're right-clicking and jumping all over the place, you're never going to run out of stamina with the Kapro. But, yeah, I mean, I just want to talk about the Ark server that I've been working on. Only I could... Somebody who spends their entire time in Ark trying to make things go as fast as possible spend 2 months to get a server working, but we are getting very close. And if you are on the server, I just wanted to let everybody know that they should be checking the Discord very frequently because we're trying to do important stuff and we need every single person to get back to us when we're asking questions of the community, like who do you want to be in a tribe with? We're going to need you to be on the Discord for that so you can relay that information, or you're not going to be in a tribe with them. And also, if you're still looking to apply, your window hasn't closed yet. You can still apply to our Scorched Earth server. You're going to want to have Scorched Earth, otherwise you're not going to be able to play on it. And you can just go onto my videos and find the one that tells you how to apply to the server because it's still up, and then you can just follow the instructions there. So, jumping back to the Capro really quickly, there are three attacks that the Capro can do. There's the right-click attack, which actually does massive amounts of damage, and I think it's actually more damage per second than the left-click if you're not flying past your target. If you can find a stationary target that you just bump against, I think you do more damage per second with a right-click rather than a left-click. But the left-click is a standard bite attack. You can use that anywhere, underwater, flying through the air, anything. The right-click will grab anything up to the size of a raptor in its jaws, but you can't use it if something's currently in your jaws. It'll do massive amounts of damage and send you flying forward, so it's both a bit of a movement technique as well as a damaging technique, and it's pretty nice. And then there's the C attack, which does very minimal amounts of damage and will grab anything that's inches in front of you. Millimeters, inches, whatever measurement you're going to use. Basically, it's only used to pick up things that are stationary. I mean, if you're trying to go for a player, you're probably going to want to use the right click so you can close the gap faster to stop them from reacting in time. But C is good for, you know, picking up anybody. So, another interesting thing with the Capro is that to, I guess, limit the distance that you can fly in the air in a feeble attempt to nerf the Capro's movement ability, the Ark devs have made it so that if you fly for, I guess it would probably be a timed amount rather than movement, because you can see here when I right click, I don't exactly go further, I go higher, and it still hits me anyway. Basically, after a while you see my Capro kind of go and go completely limp. So that'll reset your falling. I guess that's a way of the Ark devs making it so you can't fly all the way across the map, because you can see here I'm projected to hit much farther into the water than I do, but I fall slower. But a lot of instances you'll see that it saves you from fall damage, so that's a really good thing rather than a bad thing. So I don't know what they were thinking of here. But the Capro doesn't have everything going for it. I mean, there's some things that kind of go wrong with it a little bit. It doesn't actually get increased movement speed in water because it doesn't have an oxygen meter, and so max movement speed or not, you're going to have the same movement speed through the water. But once you're in the water, you're fine. You're good. Side point here, I don't know why anybody ever wanted the swamps. I mean, cementing paste, yeah, but watch this. I'm just trying to get a nice gallery shot, thumbnail, whatever you want to talk about here, and look how much stuff comes out of the woods to attack me. It's awful. But anyway, I think that's nearly going to wrap things up. I mean, I'm going to probably make another video in a couple of days. I made a video after the election happened where I just kind of played some Civ 5 with a mod letting me play as Donald Trump's America. And that was a lot of fun, so I'll probably make one of those. So if you haven't already seen that video, I had a lot of fun making it. I know it's probably not up the alley of what a lot of people would expect to see on this channel, but I enjoyed it a lot and I had good feedback from it, thankfully. So yeah, anyway. Exciting things to come. But I think that's going to pretty much do it from us. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got suggestions for future videos, you can leave them in the comments. I know there's supposed to be a couple more creatures coming to Ark soon, and maybe the Chalicotherium for max speed might be interesting as well. But anyway, that's going to pretty much do it from us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of whatever we make. Peace.